Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Wednesday Addams, new TV show from Netflix about basically the Addams family, except it focuses on Wednesday. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's what? It's the Pineys. If you like the Addams family, I think you'll like the Pineys. Now, there's a delicate balance between comedy and horror. If you do comedy and horror, they're very similar because they have to do with surprise. Got to keep surprising the audience. You got a slight problem with the Addams family in that you kind of see the jokes coming a mile away, and it's really tough to scare the straights without resorting to the usual tropes, which they of course do in this trailer. One of the tropes in high school is the unrepentant bully. And it's stupid because people don't walk around the school going, "Hey, freak, I'm going to push you around because I'm more important than you. What do you think of that?" And then, yeah, that kind of undermines Wednesday's reaction, you know. But she's defending her brother in this sequence, so it kind of works. She set loose piranhas in a school where they have their own swimming pool. But I think the people who make this show, and there she smiles. Wednesday usually doesn't smile, like for any reason. I think this is a bad idea to have her smile at all, but whatever. The Addams Family was a comedy. It was a comedy, first and foremost. What they're trying to do here, and you could read from the synopsis here, upcoming Netflix series from the imagination of Tim Burton, starring Jenna Ortega in the title role alongside Catherine Zeta-Jones, Louise Guzman, Gwendolyn Christie, Christina Ricci, and more, is a sleuthing, supernaturally infused mystery charting Wednesday Addams' year as a student at Nevermore Academy. Which I assume, I don't know, is that made up or was that part of the lore? I don't recall it being part of the lore. I don't remember Nevermore Academy in the TV series, and I used to watch that. Luis Guzman, he does look weird as Gomez, but I like him as an actor. Catherine Zeta-Jones looks pretty on point, I gotta say. So she... Wednesday gets herself kicked out of a bunch of schools and ends up at Nevermore Academy, where she'll fit right in because they do have giant spiders and creepy things. That's a tough call, too, because it feels like what they're doing is they're taking Wednesday Addams and they're trying to make a Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of angle with her. Not the direction I would go. Again, Christina Ricci is in it. I really, really would have loved to have seen a Christina Ricci starring vehicle where she's Wednesday as whatever age she is. Would have been brilliant. Would have been freaking brilliant. Wednesday Addams, even the Addams Family, the next generation. You could still have Gomez and Morticia running around, Pugsley, and you could have their kids, her kids. Would be great. Would be absolutely insane, but I don't know. I don't even know if I trust Hollywood to do the next generation thing anyway. But this is in Tim Burton's wheelhouse. Obviously, it's the Addams Family. I don't know. The mystery angle feels a bit forced because, again, this is coming soon. I guess they don't have a date for it. I thought there was a date in the write-up. No. To me, throwing in mystery was never about mystery with the Addams Family. It was always about scaring the straights, as they say. Scaring people, like doing something outrageous. But it's harder and harder to do outrageous things when we live in an environment that's so politically charged, and one side says, "Oh, there are no limits." But you could still do it. I mean, you could still do it. You could still make it funny. I think it's a mistake to bring her to someplace like Nevermore Academy. I think it would be funnier to have her in a regular high school just being Wednesday Addams and being totally deadpan the entire time and never smiling. Um, they're trying to humanize her, I guess, so people watch the show. That's not why I would watch the show. I don't want her to be human. I want her to be deadpan Wednesday Addams all the time. I don't want to see a scene with her crying or being scared or laughing. I want to see her just saying what the Addams family would always say. They would always say something outrageous. Um, you know, but you wouldn't actually see it either. And that's a problem I have with this trailer too. Them actually showing her dropping the piranhas in and seeing the piranhas bite a kid. Yeah, I didn't want to see that. That's not what the Addams family does. That's not the joke. You never see it. You hear about it, or you see the results later. Not really. I mean, maybe you see Lurch or a monster, and then people run away. But like, you wouldn't have like, I mean, the guy got bit by piranhas in the pool, and you see a ton of blood. And then she says something like, well, it's probably good these people don't procreate anyway. That's pretty crazy. Like, if you had said that rather than show it, I think it would have been more effective as a joke rather than portraying her as a psychopath. But, oh, wait, now she's the main character, so she's human too. Yeah, no, that doesn't really quite jibe. Either she's a total psychopath or she's not, and she's just a weird kid who says weird things because of her weird family, but they are still a family because they love that weird stuff. That's kind of the message of the Addams family. They're always doing weird stuff. They're always going out to the cemetery at midnight to have a picnic and crazy stuff like that. Again, in this environment where it's like, well, everybody has their life experience. Maybe that's not as effective, but I don't know if this is as effective. Now she's going to a school where she'll fit in, but like, how do you up the ante? Maybe you could do what they did on Bob's Burgers with Louise and have Wednesday get a friend who's even crazier than she is. But I think that kind of undermines the concept of the Addams family. They're supposed to be the craziest people. If anything, I'd want to see her go to a what's the name? A totally straight-laced school full of rich snobs or people who, I don't know, would be sensitive to this stuff. I mean, can you imagine a series in which she goes to a school that's super, super woke and she completely ignores the rules? That would be the Addams family. That would be the Addams family. But they're not going to do that. You never greenlit something like that in Netflix, I assume. But you can't go too far the other way either. You can't go too far with actually having her do malice. Because the malice was always implied with the Addams family. They never actually killed anybody, I don't think. It was always kind of implied. There was always this creepiness about them. It was right on the edge, right on the razor's edge. And you need really good comedy writers to pull this off. I don't see Lurch in the mix, by the way. I'm kind of wondering what happened to Lurch, but maybe he's in there. I saw Thing's in there. I mean, the effects look amazing. Your lead actress looks the part. I like that they included Christina Ricci. But it'd be great to bring back Angelica Houston and make her grandma, because now she's older. I don't know. Will they do that? I mean, it says from the mind of Tim Burton or from the imagination of Tim Burton. Is he writing it? Is he directing it? Is he what? Usually when they say something like that, they paid him a lot of money to use his name, and maybe he consulted on the project. But I would love to see him direct it. It seems to be on point with the direction. But I would love to see the Addams Family, I don't know, move to Beverly Hills or someplace really bright and sunny where they bring their dour, well, not dour, Wednesday's dour, but their goth-like attitude or whatever you call it. They kind of did that with the Munsters in the new Munsters movie. That makes sense. You know, you'd have this like row of mansions and they're all like pristine and wonderful, and then you get to the Addams Family and it's just dark and all the trees have no leaves and they're all on the ground and everything's sort of black and white and drab, and there's gravestones in the backyard. I mean, that's what I want to see. I want to see over the top Halloween, no matter the case. I don't want to see anything realistic. And I think part of the problem with these IPs is people, I think, who work on them, or at least the executives who manage them, treat them as more important than they are. The Addams Family was based on basically a comic strip, and it was just a laugh. So you kind of gotta like not care all that much. You kind of gotta be off the cuff and do some random things in that mix, and it feels like they're managing this because, oh, this is a big IP, a lot of people are going to watch, we have to have all these things in it, or else, oh, you know, people might not watch. Like, that to me kills the spontaneity of it. I wanted to see something, I don't know, it doesn't seem very spontaneous. It seems very produced. So maybe it could work. I don't know. I'm not down with this whole mystery, supernaturally infused mystery. It sounds very much like what they did to Riverdale, what they stumbled across with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But that was okay with Buffy because they kind of did it first. And there wasn't anything much to the actual movie that they were basing the TV show on. They had to do something with it. The Addams Family already had a format. It was comedy and mixed with a little bit of horror. Basically comedy Halloween. You know, the Spirit Halloween store movie. That to me is the right tone for this kind of thing, where it's just like bum, 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 bum. You know, like those big soundtracks where it's kind of comedy, but it's also kind of this freewheeling thing where you don't know where it's gonna go. I know exactly, I believe, where this is gonna go, and I think it's a mistake to not have anything new in this. I mean, you probably would have been better off just relaunching the Addams Family and doing it as a comedy, doing it as a sitcom, as it was meant to be, kinda. Not really on the comic strips, but it worked really well, the TV show. So I don't know. Will I watch it? It's on Netflix. I'll watch the first episode. But if it gets too serious, I don't want to watch it. And it looks too serious for the Addams Family. Yeah, there's some laughs in there, but I want to see the laughs that were in the original Addams Family TV show. I want it to be funny. Really funny. This looks like, well, it's going to be amusing. Oh, but the mystery. I don't know. And what mystery can you have? It's totally undermined by the fact that Wednesday is a freak. You know, the characters call her, "Oh, what are you doing here, freak?" Wednesday is a freak. She'd probably enjoy that compliment. Yes, I am a freak. What of it? You know, something like that. I don't know. Hurting people seems the wrong thing. Like if she had poured a bunch of witches' potions into the pool in the beginning of this trailer and the swimmers all came out all freakish looking, that would have been cool. You could have done all the effects you wanted. And she wasn't hurting them. She was sort of doing the same thing, you know, sort of turning the tables on someone who would call other people a freak, I guess. You know, if you can establish the meanness of the swimmers and the other kids in the school enough. I think you can because, you know, they're picking on her brother or whatever, but I think, you know, having piranhas eat their genitals, that's a little over the top. Anyhow, so I'm really on the fence about this. I want to like this. I really do. I want to like it. I don't know if I will. I'm leaning towards no. but I may dip into it and maybe I'll review the first episode or whatever. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. We only do 2 videos here, some of the shorts, and then we do videos on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble. So make sure you got an account there because YouTube's eventually going to ban me for my various takes. See you in the next one.